and welcome back to the breakdown. Today we're going to be giving you a complete guide to ShopGUI Plus. This is a very popular plugin. Pretty much any Minecraft server where you do /shop and it opens up in a GUI format, right? Opens up with something that looks kind of like this right here. That is going to be using ShopGUI Plus to do it. And in this video, we're going to be going over every step of ShopGUI Plus, show you how to set it up, show you how to change some things in the shop, add some items, add new menus to the shop. All of that stuff is going to be covered in this video. First and foremost, though, we do have a message from our sponsor, which is Apex Minecraft Host. You go to the first link down below, thebreakdown.xyz/Apex, to get an incredible 24-hour DDoS-Protected Minecraft server for you and your friends. We actually love Apex so much that we host our own server, play.breakdowncraft.com on them. So again, if you're looking for a great Minecraft server to run ShopGUI Plus on, check out Apex at the first link down below. That's thebreakdown.xyz/Apex. So first things first, I just want to go over the plugin page. Now, this is obviously the plugin page for ShopGUI Plus. You can find this in the description down below. Now, you will need to log into a Spigot account to be able to see this page because this is a paid plugin. It does cost $9.99 currently to get this plugin, but it's very worth it in my opinion because it just has a lot of features, and it's kind of expected on your server. For example, we use this on every single server that we have on Breakdowncraft, except the one server that doesn't have a shop, and that's Medieval Survival, but all of our other servers have ShopGUI Plus on it. And, I mean, as you can see, it's compatible 1.7 through 1.15, so tons of compatibility, native to 1.15 as well, which is something I like to see personally, that, you know, it is tested in the newest version of Minecraft. And then from there, we can move on down through here. We can see some of the different features. As you can see, we've got the shop menu page. You can click into that and see all the different items you can buy within that shop menu. For example, you can buy even permissions with this plugin. And then we also have, you know, the apples and selling. As you can see, you can add those to sell these apples or remove them all via the GUI and then sell them down at the bottom. This is the same menu as the buy GUI, by the way, except instead of selling at the top, it says buying. Simple as that. You can also sell via commands, so there are commands you can do like /sell hand, /sell hand all, /sell all of those work to be able to sell stuff in a game as well. We'll show you those later in the video. So as you can see some of the features here, there is a pre-made shop with a lot of items. It's a pretty good shop, to be honest, for a pre-made shop, but I would recommend, as always, customizing everything on your server to just make sure it's the best it can be. There's great anti-dupe protection. We've never had any issues with ShopGUI Plus as far as that goes. And as you can see, it allows players to sell all, and buy items using a convenient GUI. So awesome stuff there. Sell multiple enchantments, permissions, and commands to players. Set preset mob spawners to players, and supports things like silk spawners, mineable spawners, epic spawners, and wild stacker spawners. So awesome there. For example, we use it with wild stacker spawners on our factions server. Supports multiple economies. Vault, which is what we're going to be using in this video, by the way. MySQL tokens, player points token. It's so many different economies all at the same time. Supports item-based economies as well. That's pretty cool. I've never actually used it with that, and to be honest, we won't be covering item-based economies in this video. I do apologize for that, but I didn't know it could do that, to be honest. It does support custom names, lures, and enchantments as well, fireworks, all that. It's so much. It's overwhelming. Very good, and overall the best shop plugin out there. You can see some of the commands down here. We are going to be linking out to the official commands page, though, so there is a official commands page here that you can see all of this stuff, as well as all the different permissions that are here as well. This is linked in the description down below. However, we will be showing this again later in the video. There's permissions, the requirements. You will need Vault as well as some other economy plugin. For example, we're going to be using Vault as well as, Essentials to be able to do this. Now, it does recommend luck perms. I agree, luck perms is recommended and something you should have on pretty much any Minecraft server you start. However, we're not going to be using the permissions in this video. You can see the documentation to be able to sell permissions, but that's not something we're going to be going over in this video. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this downloaded, installed on our server locally here, and then we'll be good to go. So let's go ahead and keep that. Now, you are also going to need Vault for this, right? So let's go ahead and grab that. There we go. Here is Vault. We can download the latest file there. I'm also going to download Essentials. You don't need Essentials, but it's something that I would recommend having on pretty much any Minecraft server. You can check out Essentials and all of this in the description down below. It's all linked down there. The most important thing, though, is Vault right here and ShopGUI Plus right here. Get those and you'll be good to go. Now, if I minimize our browser, here is everything. I did keep and save all those files, right? Yep. All right. So now let's go ahead and close out of all of these little pre-download files that for some reason pop up my computer and never go away until I delete them. So I don't know what that's all about. But nevertheless, here we have Vault, we have ShopGUI Plus, of course, and Essentials. I can minimize that. We don't need that. However, let's go ahead, open up our Minecraft server. It's right here in the center of our screen. And obviously, we're just going to drop these into our plugins folder. This is going to be running on Paper, the latest version of Paper in 1.15.2. So we're just going to take ShopGUI Plus and Vault, drop them in there. And then we're going to grab Essentials X, Essentials Spawn, and Essentials Chat, just because those are always the three that I use, and drop those in there. Now we can go ahead and run the server with startserver.bat. And there we go. The server is going to start up, and we will have our config files generating, and we'll be good to go. It's that easy. If you don't know how to install a plugin, you can just drag and drop it into your plugins folder, and you will need like a Paper, Spigot, or Bucket server to be able to do that. I always recommend paper. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this started up. I will see you after the server is up and running. There we go. Our server has now fired right up, and we do have ShopGUI Plus generating things here. Obviously, we do have our ShopGUI Plus file here as well. Let's go ahead and jump right on into that. So the first thing I want to look at is config.yml, and I'm going to be opening these with Atom. That's my chosen text editor. Any text editor will work with this. I wouldn't recommend like Notepad, but we do have Atom linked in the description down below if you're interested in checking it out. Let me go ahead and make this a little more video friendly, this window here, right like so, and drag it to the center. So here we have everything you kind of want to know. Now, you can't store things in an SQL database, a MySQL database. That can be good, right? Because it's going to log everything and things like that and can be very, very worth it. However, I just always leave it as SQLite. Never had to move any of this stuff off of our server for use. Now, moving down through here, economy types. If you were using a different kind of economy here, you could do that, right? So you could see, for example, if you wanted to use MySQL tokens or player points or token and gem, anything like that, you can use that. However, by default, it is just Vault, which is going to be like the money that you get in game. However, it is cool. You can even create an experience shop with this. The shop menu name is going to be what your shop menu is going to be called at the top. We're going to go ahead and change this to tutorial shop. Right, like so. So that means at the top of our shop, it's going to say tutorial shop. We will make it blue, and we will make it, do we want to make it italics and underlined? Let's do it. Let's make it italics and underlined. Right, like so. Boom, there we go. So, wait, italics and excuse me. There we go. So now it's blue, bold, italics, underlined, and it is going to say tutorial shop. Menu size, how big do you want your main GUI to be? For example, whenever someone does /shop, how big do you want that GUI to be? It has to be in variables of 9, right? Because that's just how big inventories are in Minecraft. So 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54. 54 being the biggest you can actually set up. By default, it is 45, and I'm going to leave it as that. Now, the filler material, this is what's going to show around in the empty space. If you don't have a shop there, right? If you don't have an item in that empty space, what do you want it to be? By default, it is black stained glass, and it actually looks pretty good. So we're going to leave it as black stained glass. Now, sell all, enable, or disable. Enabling sell all is a bit risky in many ways because it allows you to sell everything in your inventory with the middle mouse button in the shop. To be honest, we actually have this disabled. The only way you can do sell all on our server is with the command /sell space all. And even then, we actually only give it to higher ranks who are going to understand the commands a bit more because we don't want people just accidentally selling stuff. We actually had it available for everybody and it did not work out well. So yeah, define whether you want the by GUI with the option to select quantity is enabled. So do you want to be able to change the by GUI and the quantity? Yes, we do. We actually want to leave pretty much all of these the same, right? All the way down through here, right? We want to kind of leave all of these the same. There isn't much in here that we want to really look at because the shops themselves are going to be edited in the shops.yml file, right? So anyway, let's go down through here and I want to talk about this. So capped items are basically the amount you can buy of an item, for example, at one time. Now, by default, you have inner pearls, snowballs, eggs, and buckets. That's cool. But if you're going to sell, for example, lava or water buckets, that's not included with buckets. So you need to come in here and you need to add 5 and 5 and limit these to material stack 1 as well, because otherwise you're going to have in, well, not a good time. So there you go. You can see lava bucket, water bucket. Now only those can be sold in stacks of 1 instead of stacking your buckets, because that can really cause some issues. Don't stack your buckets. Do you want to disable shop in certain game modes? If for some reason somebody was able to get creative or something, they wouldn't be able to hack your shop as easily without having to go back to survival. So I would recommend just leaving it the same. However, if it is annoying for you, say as an admin, you could remove creative there. Disable shop in worlds. Do you want the shop to be disabled in the nether? You can add it here. If you don't want it to be disabled in the main world, you can add it here. You've got options there. And then, as you can see, going down through all of these different options, all the different sounds that there are, everything. And then finally, we get down to where you can change like the text, what you want the text to say. As you can see, click with the middle mouse button to sell all. You didn't want that, you can remove it, all of that stuff. And then finally, what I want to get down to here, all the way down at the bottom, is going to be where we can actually add in our shops, right? So as you can see, we've got all this stuff, just tons of different stuff you can edit. It's all, you know, easily documented and all can be changed, but I'm not going to go over any of it because most of this stuff you're probably not going to change. It is good to, like, you know, change things and get things set up, but overall, this is where, if you're going to change something, the main things you're going to change are going to be here, and these are the actual shops themselves. So let's say you go and you create a new shop, you come here, and this is where you would add it. By default, there are 10 different shops set up, and as you can see, we do have the shop identified right here. So we have the C, this is the blocks shop, and this is the item. It's a grass block. There's one of them. It's titled blocks. It's the block shop, and it is in slot 11. So slot 0 is actually the first slot in your menu, and I'll show you this a little later on, and then slot 9 is actually the next slot down. So it's 0 through 8, 9 through 15, 16 through so on and so forth, right? So that's how that works all the way down through That way you can keep that in line. But this is where your new shops will be added. They'll be added in the format here of like material, quantity of that material, name of that material that it's going to display in game, and then the shop that they are, and the slot you want them displayed as. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and save that config.yml file, and I'm actually going to jump into this server. Oh, what is that? Play.breakdowncraft.com? That's our Minecraft server. I was talking about it earlier. Factions is just launched. Survival, Skyblock, it's incredible. You'll love it. Come play with us. 172 people online on a random, what is today? A random Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So come play with us. Play.breakdowncraft.com. Anyway, let's go ahead and direct connect to our local server here. Right, like so. Jump on in, and we will be able to really get into showing you this shop in game. So once we're in the server, I will be able to get things rocking and rolling. It's not going to work that way. Do I have to do 1, 2, 3? That's what's going to work. Yeah. Sorry about that. Didn't want to stop connected to a local server, to be honest. I normally am working on Breakdowncraft at this point, not on local stuff. So anyway, it's kind of taking a lot longer than I would expect. So let me go ahead, get joined into this server, figure all that out. This isn't a server tutorial. It is a simple ShopGUI plus tutorial. So we're going to go ahead, do a quick jump cut, I'll get in the server, and then we'll be good to go. There we go. Weird port forwarding issue that had to be solved and set up there. But here we are in this server. As you can see, we've joined in over here. And most importantly, if we do /shop, we'll be able to see our ShopGUI. So this is the default ShopGUI with the balance over here. We've got blocks, we've got food, we've got ores, we've got tools, we've got armor, we've pretty much got it all. This sells a lot of stuff and has a lot of different options of stuff that you can sell on your shop. But what I wanted to kind of show you first and foremost is how these GUIs are actually laid out. What I was talking about with these slot numbers. So this is 0 and this is 8. So it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then this is 9. That can get confusing sometimes, and that's why I wanted to mention it, because then, you know, this would be 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then 18, 19, 20, 21, so on and so forth. They can get confusing, right? And that's why I wanted to make sure that this is 0, this is 8, this is 9, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, 0, 9, 18, 21, 27, so on and so forth, all the way down. That way you can kind of know and place your items correctly, because not only will you use GUI numbers on that, but you'll use them in your shops itself, right? So all these items have their individual exact GUI locations identified in the shops.yml file. As you can see where we changed that to tutorial shop, it does have that. I'm noticing it's not underlined there, but that's not a big deal. Most likely you can't underline in GUI titles, and that's why I've never done that previously, but I know you can bold and italicize as well as use colors, so there we go. Then we have all these other GUIs here. Let's go ahead and start. Let's say we wanted to make diamonds $10 billion. No, let's actually make diamonds like $100,000. Let's go ahead and do that. So to do that, we would go ahead and go back to our ShopGUI file here, and instead of going into config.yml, we would go into shops. And then as you can see, we have all the shops.ymls in here, and this one is particularly in the ors.yml. So we go ahead and double click on that to open it with Atom. And then in here, we would simply find diamonds, right? So right down here is diamonds. We wanted to change it to $100,000 for 8 diamonds, or we can do $100,000 for 1 diamond, because why not? Now let's go ahead and add in something else here. We'll go ahead and add in a gold block, for example, in slot 27, because I don't know, why not? So how I always do this, I just copy and paste everything. That's kind of like how I do a lot of Minecraft configuration when it comes to pre-built plugins. Obviously, if you're cutting your custom plugin there, you wouldn't do that. But most of the time here, you're just doing a copy and paste. There's no reason to overcomplicate that. So we're going to go ahead and change the material to gold or diamond. We'll do diamond block, right, like so. And then we are going to do a quantity of 1. And then you can buy these for $1 million. Let's do a million there, 1 million. And then the sell price, we'll make it $100. Big difference there. And then again, we wanted to make the slot 27. So first and foremost, the two things I want to point out here. One, you always want to change that slot number, because if not, the one that's higher up in the GUI is going to take the priority, right? So 8 would take the priority over 9. And that's the next thing. You want to make sure that you change these numbers here, because it should be, you know, 1 through 8. It doesn't have to be a GUI number here. It's just 1 through whatever, however many things are in your GUI for this to work. If you don't do either of those things, it's not going to work correctly. So now we go ahead and save this. We can come back in the game. We can do /shop space reload. It's going to reload ShopGUI plus. And then we can do /shop again. And then in here, go into ors, and we will see diamonds. There they are for $100,000. And then we do have a block of diamond for $1 million. So this is 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So let's go ahead and move that to slot 31 to make it look a little better in our GUI. So we go ahead and move that to slot 31, and then we come back over here, we do /shop reload again, do /shop, and then open up ors, there it is. Now one thing you can do is /shop space ors, I believe. Oh, yep, you can't access the shop one in creative. That's annoying, but nevertheless, we go /shop space ors, it will open the ors shop directly. If we went ahead and did slot space, I think, what is another shop that we have in here? This is going to be these like kind of identifiers. So if we do shop space mining for it or farming, for example, it's going to open up the farming shop. And if we do shop space dies, like so, it's going to open up the dye shop. And then, of course, you can go back to the main shop from there. So that's kind of a quick overview, a quick little tutorial of how you can add in items. Let's go ahead and look at one that's a little more complicated, the blocks shop, because this one is multi-page. So if we go in here to the block shop, you'll see this is page 1, that is page 2. So this has multiple pages here. I'm going to show you how that works in the back end. So here's the block shop. As you can see, kind of everything is identified here. And then we do have the kind of items in here. So the first one is going to be obviously grass block, right? So on and so forth. The one difference you'll see here is after we get down through page 2, right? After we get down through sandstone here, it's going to take us a second. There's sandstone. Suddenly, a page identifier appears. Now, for page 1, you don't need any identifier. For example, it doesn't make any sense for us to, on sandstone, put page 1 here, right? This right here doesn't make any sense. It's redundant. However, once you get onto page 2, you're going to start needing those pages there to show up. So that is one thing that I do want to mention. You do need to identify your pages. That's how you'll do it. If you wanted to change these two, for example, or this one to page 3, you could do that, save it, and then come back over here. Of course, reload, right like so, shop reload, and then go into /shop blocks. Boom. Now if we go to page 2, there is now a page 3 with that single enchantment table because we changed that page identifier. So simple stuff there. That's how you can add pages. That's one thing I really wanted to recommend here before moving on with the tutorial, because there's a lot that goes on and basically all of that can be done. Now, I want to go ahead and show this. This is the kind of developer documentation for ShopGUI+. It's linked in the description down below to the commands and permissions, and that's important, right, because it shows all the different commands. But there's one thing that they have here that's very, very important as well, and that's going to be the materials list and the items ID list. So this is all the item or materials for 1.14 and 1.13 and 1.7 through 1.12. So when you're doing these, let's say you wanted to add in andesite, for example, you could copy andesite. But let's say there was something that was a little more difficult, like you wanted to add in those blue flowers. You don't know what they're called. They're called exurbluets, for example. You've also got all the different corals and everything here. It's all covered in this. Frosted ice, for example, can be sold. So tons of different stuff here, and this is where you want to get your item IDs. Again, that is in the description down below. When you click on the commands, permissions, it will take you here, and then from there, you just want to click on materials list. They also have entity types here. This is going to be good for selling spawn eggs and things like that on very old versions of ShopGUI. And then you've got 1.11 and newer and how you can sell spawn eggs with those. And then you do have the spawners there. Now there's one more thing that I want to mention. If you click on ShopGUI+ here, there's a lot of other documentation. As you can see, they have installation and configuration, which shows you more information about adding shops and how all of that works. For example, every single shop has its own fill item, right? By default, it's always going to be black stained glass. But if you wanted to change that fill item to, let's say, I don't know, we could do something crazy. We could do something like light green or light blue stained glass, right? We could do that. We could do light blue. If we come back over into Minecraft and we reload this and then go to /shop, right like so, we'll be able to see this now turns to light blue glass, which I must say doesn't actually look that horrible. Right, so it's black by default, and then you've got light blue in there if you would like to do that. So you can even change it to something weird, like you could change your fill block to dirt. I don't know why you would change your fill block to dirt, but I mean, it's your server, I guess, right? If you wanted your fill block to be dirt, you could. That's overwhelming, though. I'm going to undo that because I don't like it. All right, there we go. And so this is a very, very helpful documentation and things like that. You can also see how the page number is done. So, for example, on the blocks page, forgot to mention that. If you want to show this in the top, right, for example, if we go over here, it says page 1. You go to page 2, it says page 2. If you go to page 3, it says page 3. You can do that with page and then %, page, %, in the brackets there, or parentheses there. That way that works correctly. So it all is covered here more in depth than I'm going to go into in this tutorial. And there's one thing that I want to talk about that we've never done this, right? We don't sell permissions. But I wanted to mention it here because it's something that a lot of people might have interest in selling, but it's not something that we personally sell. So as you can see, to do this, you would just do type permission, and this is going to work automatically with something like luck perms. So type permission, and then what the permission is, in this case, essentials.message, and then the item, right, that you want to represent this permission, a stone pickaxe with enchantments, and then the buy price, and then the sell price of that enchantment, and then the slot. You can also sell multiple enchantments by listing them right like so. So permission, breakdown, and then essentials me, essentials.afk, and then for example, you would do, I don't know, maybe this is a, essentials permissions kit, for example. And you can solve that. all these different examples, and then permissions, essentials balance, and essential balance others in specific worlds. So as you can see, you do have a world parameter that you can set there and just do essentials.balance in specific worlds. So pretty cool stuff, something I've never done. You can also do commands. I don't know how this would work though, right? So basically you would sell a command to a player, and that can be useful, I guess, if you're selling a kit. You can do /player_kit, and that's going to run as the console. So as you can see, that is how that's done here. Type command, and then the item you want to represent it, and the commands you want to be. You can do multiple commands by listing them like so. So awesome stuff there. And that's something I wanted to mention, is that this is here, it's for your use, and if you do want to use it, you can use that documentation because it's very, very helpful. And we're already, as you can see, like over 20 minutes into this video, and I've not covered most of that stuff in depth. So I think this is kind of giving you a good base for ShopGUI+. If we go back here, there's not much other like main config files. You've got the language file that you can go in and change your languages and change like what the plugin says to you, for example. And then you can go into your price modifiers here. And by here, there's no new default, but I'm pretty sure you can set up different ranks to get different price modifiers. For example, if you wanted your highest rank to get 2x sell prices, you can do that using price modifiers. But yeah, there you have it. That is how you can set up ShopGUI+. I have got to reload this and then just show that this is back to light blue. This is pretty good, but that did not. Dirt as a fill block did not. But there you all have it. That is a complete admin guide to ShopGUI+. There's a lot that goes on here. I do want to mention selling. Actually, I forgot to mention that there are tons of different selling options. So we can do /sell, for example, space hand. That's going to sell all of the seeds in my hand. Let me go ahead and then get like 2 cactuses here, right? So for example, if I did /sell hand, it's only going to sell one of those cactuses. However, if I had 2 cacti, right? If I had 2 cacti here, or 3, and then I put them all in separate inventories, and then go over one. If I do sell hand all one word, sell hand all one word, and hit enter, it's going to sell all of those. Now on the flip side, let's say I was to get, a few pieces of sand in my inventory, get some cactuses in my inventory over here, and then let's really go all out and try to get a few seeds too, if we can get lucky here pretty quickly. There we go. Now, if I go ahead and I do /sell hand, it's only going to sell one of those seeds, right? But if I do /sell space all, even if my hand is empty and hit enter, it's going to sell all of the items in my inventory, right? So all of the items are sold in my inventory. All of them are gone. Now that is one thing I want to mention. Don't give that to everybody, because if someone accidentally does sell hand all, it will sell their armor off their backs. Like literally, armor in their armor slots will be sold. That's why it's a permission I would recommend not giving out on your server at all, or just giving it to a select few that you know are going to be able to use it, like ranked players, things like that. By default, we always just use sell hand and sell hand all as the default, because that's going to work for most people. But nevertheless, if you all want this seed, there it is. My name is Nick. This has been The Breakdown. That's a ShopGUI+ tutorial. You can find more commands and information on the ShopGUI+ setup page here. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of cool different features that ShopGUI+ has. It's all outlined here. But thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome content every single day of the week. My name is Nick. This has been The Breakdown, and I am out. Peace.